April 28th, 2026. A king, the first in nearly 20 years, walked into the White House. The cameras were flashing, the crowds were cheering, the world was watching. But here's what nobody told you. This wasn't just a friendly visit. This wasn't just tea and handshakes. Behind those closed doors, billions of dollars were on the table. Trade deals were being negotiated, and a king was fighting for his country's economic survival. This is the hidden agenda behind King Charles's visit to America, and it affects your money more than you think. To understand why this visit happened, you need to understand the money problem Britain is facing right now. In 2025, Donald Trump introduced what he called Liberation Day tariffs. These were new taxes on goods imported into America. Britain managed to get a deal, but it wasn't perfect. A 10% blanket tariff was still placed on British goods entering the United States. Now think about what that means. Every bottle of Scotch whiskey, every British car, every piece of British technology exported to America suddenly became 10% more expensive. For British businesses, this was a disaster. So what did Britain do? They sent their most powerful weapon, not a politician, not a prime minister. They sent a king. Now you might be thinking, why send King Charles? He has no political power. He can't sign trade deals. He can't make laws. And that's exactly the point. See, Trump doesn't respond well to politicians telling him what to do. He's pushed back against NATO. He's argued with the EU. He's clashed with world leaders. But King Charles, Trump has called him a great gentleman, tough, a great guy, and a friend of mine. Trump literally said he got his sense of showmanship from watching Queen Elizabeth's coronation as a child. The British crown is Trump's weakness, and Britain knew exactly how to use it. So what was really on the agenda behind those closed doors? Three things. Number one, trade. Britain needed Trump to ease tariffs. Scotch whiskey alone is a billion-dollar industry. British car exports, British tech, all being taxed. Number two, Iran. Right now, the United States and Israel are at war with Iran, and Iran has blocked the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important oil shipping routes in the entire world. Every single day this blockade continues, oil prices rise, and Britain's economy takes a direct hit. British MPs were so worried they actually urged the Prime Minister to cancel the King's visit. They didn't want Britain seen as supporting America's aggressive stance. But the Prime Minister said no. He said, let Charles go. Let him fix it. Number three, technology. Before the state dinner, King Charles personally sat down with America's most powerful tech CEOs. We're talking about the people running Silicon Valley. Why? Because Britain has a massive problem. British universities are creating world-class technology, but there's no money to fund it. Brilliant inventions are dying before they reach the market. Charles went to America not just for politics, but to beg Silicon Valley for investment. Let's talk about what actually happened. The meeting between Trump and Charles in the Oval Office was completely closed to cameras. No press, no journalists, no live feed. This almost never happens with Trump, who usually loves the spotlight. But after the meeting, Trump came out smiling. He called it a really good meeting and described Charles as a fantastic person. Then just 2 days later, Trump announced something extraordinary. He removed all tariffs on Scotch whiskey and Kentucky bourbon. He posted on Truth Social, and I'm paraphrasing here, that the King and Queen got him to do something nobody else was able to do without hardly even asking. Think about what just happened. Prime ministers couldn't do it. Trade negotiators couldn't do it. Months of diplomatic talks couldn't do it. A king walked in, had a private conversation, and billions of dollars in trade restrictions were lifted. That is the power of soft diplomacy. And that is the hidden agenda that actually worked. But the whiskey deal wasn't the only thing Charles came for. On the same day, King Charles did something only one other monarch in history has ever done. He addressed the United States Congress. His own mother, Queen Elizabeth, was the first to do it in 1991. Charles became the second, and his message was clear, even if he never said it directly. He talked about how no single nation can face today's challenges alone. He talked about NATO. He talked about Ukraine and called on America to keep supporting it. When he mentioned Ukraine, the entire Congress stood up, Republicans and Democrats together. In a country as divided as America is right now, that is almost impossible. A king walked into Congress and did what no American politician could do. He unified the room. Now there was one more thing hanging over this entire visit, something dark, something uncomfortable. The Epstein files. King Charles's brother, Prince Andrew, has been stripped of his royal titles. He was arrested on suspicion of misconduct linked to Jeffrey Epstein, and the United States Congress had been holding hearings about Epstein's connections to powerful people. Protesters were demanding that Charles meet Epstein's victims during his visit. The palace said no because of concerns about ongoing legal processes, and so the king walked through Washington with this shadow following him everywhere. This is why ITV's royal editor called this visit the most risky diplomatic trip of King Charles's entire reign. He came to fix Britain's economy while carrying the weight of one of the biggest scandals in royal history, and somehow he pulled it off. Okay, so why does any of this matter to you? Because global power moves like this directly affect your wallet. Here's how. Number 1, oil prices. The Iran war and Strait of Hormuz blockade has been pushing oil prices up globally. If Charles helped ease US-UK tensions, and Britain uses that influence to push for a diplomatic solution, oil prices could stabilize. That means lower fuel costs, lower inflation. Number 2, trade markets. The whiskey tariff removal is just the beginning. When two major economies ease trade restrictions, markets respond. British stocks went up. The British pound strengthened slightly against the dollar. Number 3, tech investment. Charles met Silicon Valley's biggest names. If even a fraction of that conversation leads to US investment in British tech, it creates jobs, innovation, and economic growth that ripples globally. This is why you should pay attention to moments like this. Because behind every handshake, behind every state dinner, there are billions of dollars moving. And the people who understand this are the ones who profit from it. So let's recap what we learned today. King Charles didn't come to America for tea and friendship. He came with a mission: to save British trade, to secure Silicon Valley investment, to use his relationship with Trump to do what no politician could. And in 72 hours, he lifted billions in trade restrictions, addressed Congress, and left Washington with Britain in a stronger position than when he arrived. That is the hidden agenda, and that is the power of understanding how money and politics are always connected. If you found this video valuable, subscribe to Empire in Money, because this is exactly the kind of content we bring you every week. Real events, real money, real impact. See you in the next one.